themselves getting into this, and they're wondering why all hell is breaking loose in their lives. Why their relationship with God isn't as close as it is. And then we find ourselves to the point that we're not so spiritually connected to God to the point that if we feel anything, we think it's God. Yep. You have those people that get in church, oh, the Spirit of the Lord is in this place, but yet you're sitting there, you're like, I don't feel anything. There's two reasons you don't feel anything. Either one, I should say two or many things of why you might not feel it. It's either one, the Spirit is not in there. Two, what Spirit is in this place? You said the Spirit of the Lord, but what Lord? Remember what we said about the Lords and Gods? Because Satan wants to be like God, so he has imitations of how the kingdom of God is, and he has the imitation of how the different people are placed in order. That's why they call them principalities. Because in a principality is a place of government or a region or a place where a prince reigns as an empire. So his first place was on earth. Or should I say, his first demonic, he had tried to do some things in the earth realm. And then he wound up going into, then he had the second heavens. So that's why you understand when they say, well, God, when you do the word search, you see word heaven, what heaven are they talking about? You see, we have to be understanding of what we're reading and what we allow into our sense gates, because there are so many people who are agents of the enemy that's trying to get us on the devil's side. The word states that hell is enlarging itself continually, all the time. And the sad part about it is it's enlarging itself with a lot of so-called believers, a lot of Christians, a lot of people who spend themselves in church and then they go out. They in church, but yet they go home and they live in a sinful life, and no one said nothing about it. They go home and they have the premarital situation, or they go home and they have the adulterous situation. They go home and they have the same-sex relationship, or they go home, and these things could occur in the natural as well as in the spiritual realm. You know, you go home, and then once church is over, you change the music that you listen to. Tupac changed 3 times that I know of. First time he changed, he was like one of those inspirationals, non-violent. His parents were Black Panthers, so he was like one of those type of rappers. And then he did a movie called Juice, and then he changed. Then he became a thug, and then he became thug-like. Then he went to jail, and then he became Machiavellian. And then he took on the persona and the characteristic to the point that when he began to flow, you could feel that spirit that was on him. If he was angry, you felt angry. If he felt hate, you felt hate, because of the things that he studied in prison. There are many artists out there who got into the demonic realm knowingly, and some that got into the unknowingly. There are many Christians who are into satanic and demonic worshiping knowingly and unknowingly. It's like now they get enough fan base, and then they decide they want to cross over and go secular. There's a lot of preachers who start off good, but then wind up on the other side. Hell is not a joke. Hell is real. And in hell, the things that you do on earth pretty much is almost the same thing that takes place in hell, for the simple fact that, like we said, I believe it was last week, if there's a rapist and that's happening to him, and his parts are being pulled out minute by minute. It's like being stretched like this and being pulled out and yanked out minute by minute on the hour. Or if you was a singer and you was singing for him, there's many people down in hell wish they knew what they knew in hell when they was on earth. Because if they knew what they knew then they wouldn't have sung the songs that they sung. There are certain words that are coded in songs that we find ourselves repeating, not knowing that the words in those songs are the things that's causing us to have satanic and demonic inducement in the house. Word echo. Echo can be a demonic word, for the simple fact that when we hear the word echo, we like, hello, 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 hello. But yet then there's a spiritual echo. And the spiritual echo is the simple fact that when you hear people say they see ghosts, well, you have people that say, this one lady said, I was listening to the radio yesterday, and it's the strangest part about the radio. Get this. I'm listening to the radio yesterday, right? And I turn on to this radio station. And it's like the paranormal station, like, you know. I never listened to this station before. Never knew this station exists. And it was playing crystal clear all the way to work until I tried to find out what the station call letters were so I could get it on my phone. And then that's when it went static. And then I tried to position myself in different areas, you know, before I went into work, but I couldn't get the station. I even tried to get the station when I found out where I got the station from on my way home. I still couldn't get the station. Well, in this thing was the guy talking about demonology. And in demonology, he said there are different demons over different areas, different demons that's in control of this, and different demons that does this and does that. Well, this lady called, and she was what's that word? When you're so tore up in the inside, you're crying, and you just can't understand what you're going through. And she said, I went to the kitchen one day. No, he said, I was outside one day, and there was a lady in my garden. And it was nighttime. And the gate was open. So she went to the lady and found out that that was her in the garden. And it freaked her out. So then, after it was over with, but she didn't go, she didn't say she got real, she just said it really got to her, she didn't understand it. And she said she was wide awake, this wasn't a dream. So then she said again, it happened to her again. She said she went downstairs, she went downstairs, and by her going downstairs, she was going to go, I don't know what she said she was going to do, but she saw herself cooking. And it freaked her out because she's wondering why she's cooking, and it's almost like she's running into herself. Well, they call that spiritual echoing. But in reality what it is what they say it's spiritual echoing. It's when you're catching up and you're in different dominions and in different time and different spaces, and you happen just to run into yourself. That's what they say it is. Now, I have to do more research on it because it doesn't sound right to me. What happened was she ran into a demonic spirit. But the question is, how did she get connected to that point where she kept running into this demonic spirit that looked like her? It never said anything to her. It just happened that way. You know it's demonic because no matter how much I looked it up, it kept going under psychic mind or psychic this and psychic that. Psychic meaning the mind, or the reading of, or reading of the mind. So as I began to look at this, I began to say, wow. So many people are getting introduced to witchcraft and sorcery to the point that they miss and wonder when they go to when they time is called, they feel this darkness in their room and these spiritual beings coming and attacking them, and no one's preaching about this war we're going through. This war is not a carnal war. It's not a physical war. It's a carnal war. It's not carnivore, but it's a spiritual fight, not a flesh fight. And in this spiritual fight, there are a lot of people who, from the pulpit, that don't believe in a lot of stuff. So when what they don't believe, they consider it either demonic or they just don't talk about it at all. So if they don't talk about it, they say it don't exist. It's just like, well, somebody said, go take an AIDS test. You say, no, I'm not taking it. If I don't take it, then I ain't got it. It says, go take a test for this. Go take a prostate test. Nope. I ain't got nothing wrong with my prostate. If I don't take a test, I don't have it. Or those people who drove down the street or walked down the street, and it seemed like some people look like this and they keep going this way and feel that if you don't see them, then they must be invisible to you. And that's how this is with these things, with these people. You have a lot of preachers that don't believe in hell, so they don't preach hell. They don't believe that there's a hell, or people go, when you die, you go to a literal or physical or spiritual hell. You go to, well, I don't know where they feel that you go. And by not teaching or preaching these things, what happened is they cause so many people to unknowingly go to hell. Hell is so, to the point, for lack of words, it's a unique place for the simple fact that they say there are so many people with near-death experience that speak about how, oh yeah, she said she was introduced to this echo thing because of near-death experience. That's how she said she got it. See, because in these near-death experiences, what happened is a demonic being has attached itself to her, causing these different, causing her to see these different things. So you know when you're walking in the house, you see shadows and stuff like that. Now, if it was a God, or you feel the hair sticking up in the back of your head and all these different things. See, what happened was people look at TV and they look at Da Vinci